Hello, guys. It's Archie Luxury, and we are here live from. We're overseas. I'm overseas. And I'd tell you where I was if it wasn't for the fact that so much nasties. What I can tell you is it's an Asian hotspot. Asian hot spot. That's what I can tell you indeed. Asian hot spot. And yeah, I had a great, I went to bed. Look, I've just got to manage I've got to manage a few things. What's going on? What is going on? That's the question. I don't know what the fuck these drinks are. They're full of sugar, full of caffeine. And this is an unsanctioned broadcast. Now, I got some flack from CB. He said, oh, you looks like you're in prison. The white wall. Well, I just wanted to have it. I thought it was a clean image. You didn't like the white walls? You didn't like the white walls? Speaking of white walls, we got the world's best dog trainer.
Look at those white walls. Yeah. Those walls look great.
CB says it looks like I'm in a prison cell somewhere.
No, it looks like you're in a mental asylum.
Mm.
Prisons aren't that clean. You know, like the mental hospital probably is. Although my walls are green, and I feel like that's the color that they paint, you know, the hospitals, you know. Nice, calm green.
Exactly. I got to ask you something.
I was going to ask you something.
Archie.
Yes. Yes. Serious.
Oh, what are you wearing? Fuck, sword hand. Omega. I love that watch. Automatic.
You don't like this bracelet because it's a 90s
Quartz or automatic
bracelet, but I like it a lot. And it's
quartz or automatic?
It's a quartz. I have two of them that are automatic with the Metas movement, but I really like a quartz grab and go Seamaster with the sword hands. I hate those skeleton hands. So I do love this thing.
You know, they also did was the GMT skeleton hands or sword hands?
Sword hands. I had that one too.
I like that.
That was automatic though.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I had one. And you know what? It was cheap. They're still cheap.
You know that Seamaster you've got there. I actually had the James Bond GoldenEye one.
Mm-hmm.
I've owned it twice. They're not a lot of money. When I owned it, it was about $2,500.
Yeah, I've owned it twice. This is my second one.
It's Aussie as well, not US. And I must tell you, as much as it's actually quite a well-made watch. Like the quality, I would not say is any less than my Speedmaster. You know, my manual Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
It's a really good watch. The thing is, we got a super chat. Let me grab the super chat. Huracan, $5. $5. Please respond to Plastic's comment in the chat. He's under T. Father, thanks.
T. Father. I don't know. See if I find him.
Oh, I'll find him.
Here's one. Huracan, I'm waiting to take his confession.
Banned him. Banned and was removed. There we go. Let's fix the problem up.
There we go.
Banned him, right? Because he's a cunt.
Nicely
you know what?
Done.
He's a total cunt.
Yes.
I really, Plastic, just fuck off.
Well,
I don't like you.
Now he's gone.
You're not a friend. I tried to reach out when Sovereign died.
No, you mean when Sirocco
died.
Sovereign is still alive to the best of our
knowledge. So fuck off. I honestly, you know what? Just go.
Well, here's a super chat, $10.
4 rocks, $10. I currently have a 1861 Speedy, 2025 Bluesy, and looking to either buy a Explorer 2 226570 or a Batman. Which one do I buy? Now, that's a good question. Personally, I would go for the white dial Explorer 2. Why? One, it's going to be a fuckload cheaper.
No, it's only a little cheaper. It's only a little cheaper.
If you get the black dial, maybe.
The tit, which is Chief.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello.
And the snake, which is Mike. Mike the snake. Snaky. Mikey.
How's it going?
Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Mike.
Hey
Okay,
there,
what were you saying, Arch?
Mr. Titty.
I was just saying, I think I'd personally go for the Explorer 2.
But you said it was a fuckload cheaper, and if he's talking from the AD, it's not a fuckload cheaper.
He's not going to get it from the AD.
Well, we don't know this. Maybe he's got a nice little buying history going. You should tell us.
Look, if you can get it from the AD, get the Pepsi for fuck's sake, right?
Well, no, the Pepsi is going to be a really hard get because they only get like one a year these days. So I'm saying
one a year?
They're getting very, very few, but the supply is terrible. I would say if it's all the same to you, 4 rocks, you definitely the Explorer 2 is a wonderful watch, but you get that after you have a Batman, and you're bored with it, not before.
Yep.
I love the Explorer 2. It's actually my favorite.
It is a great watch, and Archie has one. I have one. I do love it.
I've got one.
You just don't you think you should have a GMT Master 2 first?
Why?
Because it's got the bezel. It's got more Rolex. I don't know about more history, but it's just more classically Rolex.
You know, the funny thing is,
a little more panache.
The thing I love about the Explorer 2 is that you've got the fixed bezel. Because I have a hard enough time, okay, so Explorer 2, any of those GMTs, what they do is they have a 24-hour hand and a 12-hour hand.
And a bezel.
I find it fucking hard to read 24-hour time on that watch.
Well, nobody reads the 24-hour.
The classic case is, you know, the Breitling Cosmonaut.
Yeah.
The Cosmonaut is a Navi timer where the hour hand goes around once every 24 hours.
I hate those. I hate that. I don't know what time it is. You know
what? I sort of, Mark, I agree with you about this. In relation to the Pepsi, that's more, I can see how that's got a bit more history or classic and whatever. But I think that the Explorer 2, after the Pepsi, has got more sort of history or classic Rolex-ness about it than the Batman and those other blue things and all that stuff, because those came in later.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's true.
I mean,
well,
for a long time, it was the Pepsi, and that was it in terms of GMTs.
I guess you can't go wrong either way, but I feel like you're more likely to get on an airplane than a cave. Super.
Well, still, the Explorer 2 does the job.
Does do.
Definitely.
Super chat. We've got one here. Rich Mitch, £2. If you had to, what Longines would you get?
I'd like this question.
Zulu, isn't it?
I owned a Longines about 10 years ago. And what it was a solid gold. It was very cheap, and it was solid gold on a strap. It was gold. It was a modern reissue of the 5-star Admiral. You know, that's kind of their dress watch. The 5-star was
show it to us?
Their heart. I don't have a fucking picture, Mark. Come on, Marky. You're as bad as
the internet.
Bring it up, Arch. Bring it up. Fuck you, Dad. I'm in a hellhole of a hotel. I'm just speaking my mind.
Can't be bothered. I understand.
Can't be bothered. I can't find the fuck. So it was a Longines 5-star, and it was a reissue. I think a Conquest, and I fucking loved it.
It was an Admiral?
Yes.
And it was a reissue?
Yes.
Oh, man, those are shitters. I'm looking it up now. Hold on.
I think just about every brand has at least one decent model they make, you know?
Let me see if I can figure out how to share screen.
At least one that's worth collecting or owning.
All right, because I don't do this enough to know. Let me try. Share screen. You have to tell me if I get it.
Okay, having a look. Share screen, share screen, share.
No, I'm working on it. Give me a minute. Oh, good God.
Oh, we got another super chat. Let me just catch up on super chats here.
Yes, yes.
Paul
yes.
Rocks, $3 says AD. Yes, fuck. If you can get it from the AD, get the Batman. Don't fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
If you can get it from an AD, get
No
the
question.
Batman or get the Pepsi. Even better, get the Pepsi.
Take whatever you can get if it's stainless steel. Whatever he's got to offer.
I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it either. All right. Well, listen. If you have since it's from the AD, it's not a huge difference in price. It's like maybe $1,000 more or something like that to get the Batman. And it's really these days, I think it's as much the Batgirl. But at any rate, if you can get the GMT Master 2 from the AD, here's why you do it. Here's why. Because from the AD, it is a much, much, much harder get to get a GMT Master 2. An Explorer 2 you can always get. Like I got one with 2 weeks wait time. But had I asked for a GMT, I am sure it would have probably been more like 6 or 8 months just due to supply. So if they're offering you a Batman, that's the one you take. Also, those are selling for a little above retail, whereas the Explorer 2s are selling a bit below retail or at.
More panache.
It's also a better buy from the AD. Like you get a lot more watch for not that much more money. Super chat.
Super chat, super chat, super chat. We got another super chat here. This is a good one. Black Cat 997 debating between all these Rolex GMTs, but I feel like the Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, on a Oyster.
It's not Batman. It's the Bruce Wayne. It's the black and gray.
Yeah.
Oh, the black and gray. Sorry. Is the best daily driver. For Rich Mitch, the Zulu Time.
I agree. I have the Zulu Time. That's the one. That's the Longines, the Zulu Time. I agree. I agree with that.
This is Zulu Time, which is on a brown strap, which is nice.
Hey, fellas.
I have it on a bracelet. Nick.
How are you, Mark?
We are well. We are well. We are talking Longines. We're talking Rolex. We're talking watches.
I had a good sleep, and I was thinking about it, and I think you're cool like Danny Ocean.
Wish I knew what that meant, but you know,
Promotions 11.
Oh, the George Clooney character. Okay,
Guys, I don't think you guys understand the scope and scale of what it takes to have those kinds of expertise, which Mark has. Like that elevates you in my view. Like I know objectively how much work that takes.
Oh, you're talking about the safe cracking?
Yes. That is such a cool pedigree. I'm fucking blown away, man.
I know a great deal about like 3 things, and that's it.
Wow. I was
gay stuff for sure. That's one of them.
Wow.
Well, that's like saying you know heterosexuality. You know your way around a vagina. I'm very sure.
Mark, what you got on today?
Hey, look, I have my dog here as well.
Marco, what watch have you got on today?
Today, I'm wearing a watch that will upset a lot of the punters. Because watch the second hand.
But this one's got the sword hands instead of the. I don't like the.
Yes.
What about you, Mike? What do you got on?
I got my 41 sub.
Nice.
Submariner.
It's my one and done. But
Archie Poo, what do you got?
Oh, me. One and done. Or 2, man. That's the.
There you go.
Of course.
The Polar Explorer.
Nice. Nick?
Archie, you sold. Ouch, that hurts. You've sold a lot of Polar Explorers in your time.
Yes, sir.
You spruiked them. You sold a lot of them. You got a lot of them sold. That and the Man in the Moon.
I actually do miss. I miss the 40 mil. I must be totally honest with you. I actually do miss the 40 mil. There's something about a 5-digit that I love.
Let's take a closer look at the tit of Chief.
Oh,
is that a Flight Master? What is that?
It's a Mark II.
It's a Mark II Speedmaster. That's right. Arch knows.
And you got the bracelet on it. That's a reissue or original?
That's original bracelet.
Nice.
Because, you know, the original ones have an 861 movement. The new ones have an automatic.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I sort of like that big maxi case on it.
Oh yeah, me too. Love it. It's
sort of come back into trend.
It's kind of turtle-esque.
Yeah.
Shape-wise.
Yeah, man. People forget, but Omega made some really chunky watches.
Yeah.
Back.
What have you got on, Nick?
I don't have a watch, unfortunately.
Well, Nick, you best get out there and steal something.
No, I don't do crimes. Otherwise, I'd already be fucking.
You're so Canadian.
I'd be too wealthy already if I was doing crimes.
Well, you know, a little white collar. Anybody. Super chat.
Here we go. I'm just sending Tan a text quickly. Tan was asking me something. Super chat. Pete Glenn, $5. Arch, why does Plastic the Bogan condom boy have such a hard on for you? Didn't you give him enough love? He is so unhinged because of his what? Plastic got divorced? What the hell? What?
Well, there's a bit of good news for Mrs. Plastic.
I don't think so. What? I don't understand. Arch, why does Plastic the Bogan condom boy have such a hard on for you? Did you give him enough love? He is so unhinged because of his. Is he so unhinged? What? When did he get divorced? I never heard anything. This is news to me. He's actually whenever I met him, and I'm not speaking nastily about him, he was always very family orientated. He loved his wife. I don't think he's divorced. Who told you that? And it's not really banter for the stream, but I hope that's not the case. Even though I don't like the guy, his wife.
You don't wish any evil upon him?
No, I don't wish evil on him. Definitely not.
A piano falling from the sky? None of that.
No.
Well, you know what? You're not an adequate enemy. You really got to sharpen your game a little bit. Well, anyway, what is Plastic's problem with you? I think that's the essence of Pete Glenn's question.
I think Plastic thinks I'm a lot more successful than I am. I'll be honest with you. There was phase where it was very, very good. That ain't there anymore, Charlie. The business is what it is. You know, actually, I was watching a CNN or CNA program before I came on the dungeon. In Indonesia, I don't want to give too much out, but in Indonesia, the age cutoff for a lot of jobs is 25. 25? Like companies want staff younger than they want you to have a degree. 25.
Women in China and in Philippines, for example, are almost unemployable by 30.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Depending on the specialty. I mean, if they're highly educated, like engineer, lawyer, maybe probably not. But, you know, in a lot of jobs, yeah, it's a problem. All right, we're not getting a straight answer, Pete Glenn, but I did try. Super chat.
Super chat. John C, $2. Mike the Snake, how are you? What's for dinner tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Lost another pound.
Nice.
I am down to 202.
So we're having a glass of water for dinner tonight?
Pretty much. I either bounce between like a lean cuisine TV dinner and I'm watching the calories and the protein, numbers on the box. Even though, yes, it's processed food, but I'm not cooking for myself yet. I'm not there yet. Okay, so at least I'm watching the numbers and watching what I eat. But if it's either that or I don't eat it all and I just have a protein shake drink, like Ensure, and then maybe a little chocolate caramel for dessert. I don't feel hunger. I do not feel hunger. So this whole food thing is just something that I got to get done with.
The medication you're on, it causes a type of muscle paralysis because the stomach works as a kind of gestation muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Gestation refers to pregnancy. Okay.
No, I mean like the food gestation.
You're talking about motility, stomach motility, digestion, not gestation. Those are two different things. And by the way, did you know that the elephant gestates for approximately like 14 months before giving birth?
Oh, I thought it was longer. I thought it was like 2 years.
I know. I just made that up. I don't know how long it is. Look, speaking of food, Pete Glenn has got some additional.
Did you know that elephants? There's a fruit that rots on the tree and ferments.
They get drunk.
And they get drunk as shit, and they go running amok and like trample villages and shit in a drunken stupor. Can you imagine a drunk elephant just kind of like tromping through your house, just like out of control?
You know, speaking of drunken elephants, Archie, we have a P. Glenn who often reminds me of a drunken elephant. But can you read this comment and respond?
P. Glenn, Commodore Boy hosts the Pontiff for a barbecue and serves the cheapest sausages money can buy.
What did that happen? What's he talking about?
No, it didn't happen. Let me explain to you, because I got to be totally honest with you. I'm a bit of a foodie, okay? I am a foodie.
We hadn't noticed.
Okay?
He's got penis envy for you, Archie.
And
that's what it is.
I got to tell you, normally when someone says, come for a barbecue, I want to know their culinary cuisine. Just because they wear a gold
Wait. You want to know their what cuisine? Their what?
Culinary cuisine.
Culinary?
Yeah, I want to know, is it premium? Is it cheap? What is it? Like,
Chief,
you can have...
Could you tell him the word he's looking for?
Culinary.
There we go.
Culinary, there we go.
Culinary, but yes.
There we go. Okay.
Calamari. So laughing there. All right. So in other words, if I invite you to a Barbie or to dinner, you're going to say, okay, but what's for dinner?
Exactly.
And if I told you hamburgers and hot dogs.
He's saying he's a food snob.
Yeah. Are you coming if it's hamburgers and hot dogs?
Because I've been to too many. There's nothing worse than going to an event and having home brand snags there. You know, I'm thinking I want aged meat.
Like generic, Cheese Whiz and, Ritz crackers.
No, I want to know someone knows how to cook it, because I like my steak to be rare, medium, more on the rare side. I like a bit of redness to it.
Clean its bum and knock the horns off. And
I want premium steak. I don't want just...
Lap it on a plate.
I don't want casserole steak. I want fucking ribeye fillet, porterhouse. I've got a list of cuts that I like.
So in other words, if you're invited to dinner, you send over.
Let me give you the list: T-bone, rump, porterhouse, ribeye fillet, Scotch fillet.
I fillet.
Okay, I fillet. Yes.
You know what, Chief? Do you know what a green room rider is?
A green room? No.
A green room rider is like, okay, if you're Mike probably knows about this. If you're a band, in your dressing room, you have a special rider, like you demand green M&Ms and a specific brand of scotch. It's all the shit that they got to have for you at every venue.
Oh, it's a list for the green room.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so Archie, if he gets invited to a barbecue or a dinner, he just emails over, his contract, which gives, they have to have certain things like green M&Ms. They have to have red wine, white wine. They also need to have, like Perrier water in case he wants to make rosé or in case he wants to manufacture Prosecco at the table. Like that, right, Arch?
Is that right, Arch? Have you got like a preconditioned list of this is what I'm prepared to come and eat? And if it's not that, then I'm not coming.
I don't want someone lower middle class who's made some crypto. I tell you what I don't want. Can I tell you what I'm scared of? Someone who's got the Audi, they got the X5, they got the gold sub, but their food habits are working class Brisbane. Okay.
Yeah, that's there.
See, they need to have, I want gourmet premium stuff, right?
Yeah.
I want to know about the wood they're using for the barbecue. I want to know about...
What if, wait. What about a propane barbecue?
Propane, nothing wrong with LPG. Nothing wrong with LPG. Nothing wrong with it.
Will you eat more? What if I'm grilling Moreton Bay bugs and fillets? Is that good?
Oh, surf and turf.
Yeah.
Look,
will you eat a?
Normally, you don't normally grill the seafood too much, but I actually don't mind it on for a little bit.
Well, wait. What if I'm serving barramundi?
Barramundi. Now, is freshwater or saltwater barramundi?
Barramundi.
You can get both. What do you prefer? Salt or fresh barra?
I prefer the freshwater barramundi and the saltwater coral trout.
Freshwater barra.
Coral trout.
The coral trout. That's a fantastic fish. That.
I caught some of that right on the Great Barrier Reef, right off Port Douglas.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. But the big problem was landing them before the sharks, ate them on the way up.
Yeah. In Northern California, we have a fish called the capizoni that looks like this prehistoric fish. It's got these big, giant fins, and when you're pulling it up, it's a rockfish. But when you're pulling it up, it's like you're pulling up a dinosaur. But when you cut it open, the meat is really distinctly green or blue.
Ooh.
And it's absolutely delicious. It's some of the best eating fish.
I'm not eating a green fish. I just can't. I don't think I could do it. But
it's not a nasty looking green. It's just the same color as the fish.
I'll tell you what scared the shit out of me on the Great Barrier Reef was we were fishing on the shore side of the reef, and I mean we didn't even have rods. We just had literal, spools of monofilament, and we didn't even have a jig. We just had a big silver hook, and they were biting the shit out of this stuff. And you had gloves, just like literally hand lines, and just pulling them in. And you were able to land a few before the sharks ate them, but the sharks would follow them all the way up. Then we pull in the lines. We move the boat like 15 minutes. They throw snorkels at us, and they go jump in. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Because I just had seen so many big sharks. And what they told us was we were fishing on the ocean side of the reef, but the boat had moved over to the shore side. In other words, the big sharks won't cross the reef. They're afraid of getting beached because it comes up almost out of the water.
Are you guys aware of the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by
Of course, Jules Verne.
Yeah, exactly. So that book, a lot of the book, when it's actually in its original translation, or you get a good translation of it, a lot of it, like unabridged, a lot of it is descriptions of sea animals, and they're fantasy.
It was
animals.
a giant
Some of them
squid.
are realistic.
His monster was a giant squid.
That's right.
Which
and so that book is so influential on the development of Gothic aesthetics and on watches and stuff, because the Nautilus for Patek Philippe, obviously the name of that, but then Blancpain, it's bathyscaphe. It named it like this weird submersible thing, but it's actually a nod to the Nautilus. Like the bathyscaphe, when you look at the annual calendar variant on a bracelet, it literally looks kind of like you'd imagine that old illustration from the original book looks like the Nautilus.
Nick, how do you know arcane, obscure factoids like this? And
listen to an interesting thing. Also, there's a Panerai.
You don't have a watch.
Listen. There's a Panerai that's a special edition, and it has a cover. I don't know if you guys have seen these Panerais.
Nick,
they have a cover over the dial.
Which one would you want? Because I know it wouldn't just be like generic Submariner. Like, give me one. Like,
let me just finish saying this. There's a thing that it covers it, and there's different etchings. They're by the shotgun maker Holland and Holland in association with Panerai, and there's a few of them that are for Jules.
Here's the frightening thing, Frank V. This is not Google AI. This is really Nick. Nick, if you could just get one really nice watch, what do you want?
Makers. They make Purdy's.
Oh, Purdy is it?
Huh?
Hello, tap. Is this thing on, Nick? If you could have one good watch, money not an object. What is it that piques your interest with all this knowledge you have?
Oh, there's I want a collection of 6 watches, but
just
the number
one, just your favorite one.
It'd have to be a Day-Date 40 platinum fluted bezel, thick Romans dial.
Obscure shit.
But the only reason is because that's the most elitist one. Because if you can only get one,
the one that you find most interesting, not the one that you find that gives you the biggest dick.
Okay, that's a different question. So I would get the bathyscaphe in steel anthracite dial with a pale green sailcloth strap.
Okay.
Because it has the most Gothic aesthetic ever. It's like a dress watch. It's so powerful that it influenced the whole industry for like a decade since.
Tell me that again. The bathyscaphe what? Which one?
Anthrax. Okay, so 50 fathoms bathyscaphe, and just type in steel, and then it'll come up one of them. You can click on view variants, and then I'll direct you to it. It's the one that's steel with an anthracite dial and pale green strap.
All right, hold on.
He's good, isn't he?
He's good. Not even that crazy expensive.
Here we go. We've got a super chat here. I'll set this poll up. Heritan $2. AC3, stop being a beta soy. Run a poll asking if the chat wants Eddie back. Then read the results. Okay, I will
Nick,
do
is that it?
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But that one, it looks like it's it has a black sailcloth strap. So in this case, it would be a pale green one.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
when
They're
it's
like
pale
$6
green,
grand.
it changes the way it looks. It aesthetically synergizes with
Gotcha.
the dial
All right.
background.
They're not crazy expensive.
No, it's like 10 grand Canadian.
Less. No, but that's retail. You can get it for less.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice.
That
Interesting.
one watch, that'd be your one, would it, Nick?
Yeah, I think that's like my spirit watch.
Somebody
Hey, we've got a super
called
We've
Thomas
got a
Bloor.
poll going there. Why can Narc only pull 5 viewers to Nikki's show when the dungeon is on air? It's the poll that's going there. We've got another super chats coming from the Zeal. $105. AC3, stop being a beta soy. Run a
You
poll
did that
asking that wants Eddie back. Then read the results. Okay, so I'm going to have to change the poll. Okay.
Canuck Watch Collector says he wants to see Eddie live streaming from jail. That's funny. Oh, quite a cast of characters.
Have you seen that? There's a comment there by Thomas Bloor. He said Jules Verne's tomb is incredible. It's got. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's got a sculpture where somebody's like reaching up out of the grave. That's at that Saint-Etienne cemetery in Paris.
That would be at La Cherta. Oh God, I've been there, and I've seen that. I've seen that grave, La Père de Chaise.
Yeah.
And Mozart is buried there. Jim Morrison of the Doors is buried there. Oscar Wilde is buried there. Chopin is buried there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Holy.
I didn't mean Mozart. I meant Chopin. But anyway, you can visit all their graves. Really interesting.
I was just looking in my library. I've got a bunch of vintage turn of the century books. They're like third printings of like Gulliver's Travels, Treasure Island.
That's
Those are great books.
Third printings?
Yeah, no, they're turn of the century. They're not first printings, but they're definitely fucking old, leather-backed. Some of them are marbled, if you know what that is.
Yeah, of course. When they did the cover sheets.
Yeah.
Do you know how they did that, Mike?
Yeah. No, they pour oil on water and then they drag a stick through it and make a pattern out of the oil.
And then they lay the
and
sheet
then
down.
they drop whatever it is you're going to marble.
All done by hand.
There was a shop in my old town that used to marble everything: shoes, T-shirts, anything you want. And there's a new process of painting that's similar to that marbling thing, where they spray out a painting onto the water, and then they spray an activator on it, and then you just dip whatever you're going to paint through it, and it just adheres to it, and it's like permanente.
El Permanente.
Yeah, it's on. You know, they can get carbon fiber look on plastic and stuff like that. You know, like it's used in automotive industry and lots of different things.
You into first edition books as well, guys? Like rare editions of.
I have my favorite first editions are of my own books.
There you go. There you go. Good answer.
There, right?
To me, from me.
God
forbid. Love you long time.
Love you long time.
God forbid the day I write a book about my escapades.
Just remember, Mike, never confess to a felony. You always say, I allegedly.
I've not committed any.
Good man. Now, Archie, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What what beautiful food have you had on your travels?
Oh, I had amazing food. Basically, I've had rice, just amazing dishes.
Rice, you had rice. Okay.
I like duck. I like a bit of duck with green
noodle. The first
noodle.
thing you said was you had rice.
That's right.
He had rice.
Duck. There we go.
We had
Is that all he's given us? Duck.
Okay, so you
We've
had
been
duck
waiting for this famous fucking trip for weeks, and all you've given us is rice
and duck. Well, we did get duck.
Controls are so nasty. They make it so hard. If I've got that fucking dickhead goes and starts slagging off the country I'm in, which is just not cool. If I could get rid of 3 people from the Archie verse, they would be plastic. I would get rid of Watch Nick. And I would get rid of who else would I get? Maybe HR.
Wait a minute. You'd keep Narc over HR?
Yes, definitely.
I don't know about you, Chief Tit. I was
Narc is only short bursts, but Narc is he's like in an EV car. It's just short bursts.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of range. Plus, if you piss him off, he disappears for weeks.
No range, and it keeps going on and on the same thing all the time.
Super chat.
Dropping N-bombs and stuff.
Oh, this is a good question.
Super chat. Here we go. Let's have a look at this here. Zhao Yang, $2. Arch, which stolen paddock would you most want back? You know what? I don't actually think about that. I kind of probably the 5127 in white gold with the optional deployment buckle I bought for it. But who beggars can't be choosers.
Oh my God, this
you know what I mean? If I could go back in time.
Did you lose a world time though?
Yeah, no, that was it. Look, you just asked the question. I said which one.
Yeah.
We got Black Cat 997.
This is hysterical, and I want to hear you try and say the word, but I'll help you when necessary.
Okay, Black Cat 997, $5. I will repeat something I said earlier. Mike the Snake is Kawizat Haderach.
No, it's called the Kizak Haderach.
That's a female, right? That is a female of the Bene Gesserit order. She's the head witch, right?
Yeah.
Am I getting this right?
No. The Kizak Haderach, I believe, is.
Or is that the needle she uses?
That's the guy. No, the needle was called something else.
What was she?
The needle was called the Jabbar.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The Kizak Haderach was what everybody thought that the boy was gonna be. Like,
tell me of your homeworld.
Is he the Kizak Haderach? Will the stories become true? And it's all about the movie Dune or the book
movie,
Dune.
Great book.
There's a whole series of books. I've read all of them.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. Well, there were 3, but then there was a prequel written by I think the son. Frank Herbert is the author there. Mike, when I read the book, all I kept saying was "Quitsack, Haderach, give my dog a bone." I couldn't get that out of my ear.
That's funny.
Muad'Dib.
If you had a chance, Muad'Dib is the name that he chose, which meant the little mouse, this desert mouse
who could ride the sandworm.
Well, no, the desert mouse would stand on that.
No, I know, but Muad'Dib could.
Oh yeah, Muad'Dib could for sure. No, he became
full
Frenem.
The first guy who played him, Usul, was he was the same kid who Kyle MacLachlan. Who also
in the '84 movie or the
which was
movie?
Terrible. Sting was in that movie too.
That movie wasn't that bad, and it did a pretty good job of covering. It kind of covered the book pretty well. The next 2 Dune modern movies covered half the book in the first movie, and the other half of the book in the second movie.
But here's the thing about the first movie.
They did a wonderful job of
the first movie. The movie made sense only if you had read the books. Otherwise, it made no sense. But I did like it.
True that.
The second one, and then it was Timothée Chalamet played the lead character, played Paul Atreides.
And what a great pick, because the original movie had Sting as the
bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
But the Paul Atreides in the newer movies, he's this skinny guy. He's kind of cut. But you just don't pick him out. You don't look at him as like this fierce warrior,
That's
that
right.
take on fucking anybody with a fucking knife.
Yeah, that's true.
And boy, he played his mother as well. Both played their roles extremely well.
Go plant a thumper.
Go plant a thumper?
Remember the thumpers?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To draw the sandworms.
Yeah.
Either to you or away from you.
Yeah. Man,
he was Kyle
MacLachlan
was in Blue Velvet also. He was great in that movie.
The Dune trilogy quad, that has to be one of my favorite books. I read it as a very young kid and then reread it a number of times and then saw the movie and then saw the newer movies. And
same.
I'll be back in the toilet.
Take us with you. Mike, I put the Dune series right up there with Lord of the Rings, which I also loved.
Yeah. 100%. I read all of those. I read all of those too. What about Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? And that little. I read that series. That was a great series. And you know the author Richard Bach, who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Yeah. Okay. I know that. I know that one.
He wrote that book. And my dad flew jets with him in the Air Force.
Crazy.
But he went on to write a number of really spiritually inspiring books. One of them was called One. Another was called something, The Story of a Reluctant Messiah.
Marcus says that he talked with David Lynch and he wasn't happy about the Dune movie, which I can imagine because it was kind of critically panned. I don't think it was commercially successful either. But how interesting that you got to do that. Pretty damn cool.
What's that?
I'd like to have a conversation with Timothée Chalamet myself.
Are you speaking to me? I didn't have a chance to talk to anybody.
No, it was one of the punters, Marcus Mandel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mark,
actually, I'm going to the movies tonight. I'll be leaving the stream a little early, much to the dismay of most of you.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry. There's a movie out now called Nuremberg. As you can imagine, it's about the Nuremberg trials.
There's some science fiction movies out that I want to see. I'm a sucker. I mean, the regular movies, intros and commercials, just to get, find another channel. It's got to be sci-fi for me to for it to pique my interest.
I myself cannot walk away from a good Nazi movie. There are very, very few.
Me
But
too.
I can't wait to see that one. One of my favorite movies is called Fury. It was about Bastogne, and Brad Pitt was in that one. But there's a new movie out. It's in Germany right now. It won't be released on Netflix until it's done playing in Germany. It's called The Tiger, and it's about the tiger panzers.
Oh yeah, there's a movie called The Beast. That's about the tank and the crew that get caught in the desert, like in the Middle East, and
that was in Africa, North Africa.
Africa, yeah, and that's a great movie as well.
Well, we have a super chat. Have any of you read Blood Meridian?
No,
I haven't read it, but I know a lot about it.
I don't know.
Never heard of it.
In this movie I'm going to see tonight, as Marcus says, Russell Crowe is playing Hermann Goering, which is a really interesting pick. So we'll see how it goes.
Just so you know, the Coen brothers, they were most influenced by Corman McCarthy. And then they actually didn't choose that script. It was offered to them, but they had already read his previous works, including Blood Meridian. So that most of their movies are based on Cormac McCarthy's kind of style of delving into American society.
Love the Coen.
Speaking of Hermann Goering, he used to have a holiday house next to Hitler's one at the
up in the Berchtesgaden region, up in the in Bavaria.
From that porch that they always show.
Yeah, exactly.
I went there to have a look to try to find something. Right?
Well, they knocked it down.
Hey?
They knocked it down. They destroyed. They dismantled
Yeah,
it.
they bombed it too after the war.
Yeah.
But some of the buildings that were in that row, like the little hotel on the corner, that's still there. And Hermann Goering's house used to be there, but now they've built this beautiful Kempinski Hotel. And when you go out into the Kempinski Hotel in the middle of winter, there's a little.
Is it expensive?
Very expensive, Arch. Very
Well, it's remote. It's got to be hard to get to, right?
It's very picture. It's a beautiful spot. It's
What's it about 7,500 feet? It's like very high up in the mountains.
It's quite high up, yeah. But there's a little mini ski like slope there in front with it's not a huge ski resort, right? But it's a small one.
You know what? Here's a fun fact about Hermann Goering.
Anyway,
he was raised in a castle. Yeah. Hermann Goering was raised in a castle by his stepfather, who he loved, who was married to his mother after his father died, and his stepfather who raised him was Jewish. And Hermann Goering's brother used the connection to his brother to be able to save a lot of Jewish families and people. So interesting story. Interesting. Not a hero by any stretch, but interesting background.
His lounge room, where his lounge room used to be, is now where you can swim out in the pool. So as you're sitting there in the pool and it's snowing around you,
that's crazy.
It used to be his lounge room on that spot.
Amazing.
I know.
Super chat.
Super chat. We got a super chat here. Rich Mitch, £2. Don't read it. Get the audio book. Incredible.
Yeah, he's referring to that, to the meridian, the blood meridian.
Blood meridian.
Yeah.
It's really dark though. Like there's a lot of super dark points in that book. Like it's about the frontier between Texas and Mexico, lawless, and a whole bunch of dark stuff happens. Like really dark.
Well, a lot of dark stuff did happen. Remember the Alamo.
Look at American history, but also look at how No Country for Old Men. It's based on the sheriff.
Yeah.
Always reminiscing on the old-timer sheriffs that preceded him.
Yeah,
so he's reminiscing about his father, his grandfather, and he forgets how they were able to deal with such insane threats. And
they just shot him.
They didn't even carry a gun because they would come out and they would carry with them kind of like this torch, like in the dream of the sheriff at the end, he described his father going past him with like a torch, like a flame in the horn. That's how they did it back in the day. But it's like the essence of Texan culture itself and being able to stand facing that threat where you are unarmed. And now that scenario happens in that movie, No Country for Old Men, like 3-4 times. Happens with the cashier, happens with the superintendent of the trailer park, and it happens at the end with, or also with the bounty hunter and Charlie Jean at the end. So it's about having a Texan culture and standing face to face with that. That's really the essence of Cormac McCarthy's work. That like American true spirit of being able to face like even that darkness.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Can I just
Dark
say this,
movie, very dark.
Angelic Slayer in the chat was talking about the last time Bormann was seen was on the Friedrichstrasse. Those last couple of days of the war there, if you ever go to Berlin, and you can get these books that you can like walk down the street and it tells you, oh, this is this street where this was happening on this day, and it has before and after photos so you can compare the spot that you're at.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's really good.
How much are those books?
Well, they're just books that you buy there like for about €5 or €10. They're everywhere basically, but they're sort of before and after books, and they guide you around the town so you know where the Russians came from this street, and the battle for the Reichstag took place in this particular spot, and where you're standing this took place. That's absolutely fascinating to me, that stuff.
Don't ever forget. I just want to make this. Don't ever forget the Russians behaved like assholes after the war, raped and pillaged a lot of innocent.
God bless. You know what? And God bless them all. God bless.
No, you can't say that.
Let me tell you what.
You have to understand. After the war, there was a lot of ethnic cleansing in a lot of countries against the Germans. That's what the Russians were doing.
They gave back a tiny fraction of what they received,
but
because you
can't say
forget,
15 or 16-year-old German girl deserved to be raped by Russian soldiers.
Hold on, America.
No, it's barbaric.
Killed 100,000 people in Tokyo. This was before Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
It's firebombing.
We killed 100,000 men, women, children, and babies with firebombing. Okay, why? Because they killed a couple thousand of us at Pearl Harbor. what I'm saying is when, and I'm just going to repeat what Bomber Harris said of the British RAF, they sowed the whirlwind and now they reap the fire.
They sowed the wind. Now they can reap the whirlwind.
That's what he said, and that's exactly what happened. So
but the thing is, it's these smart-ass politicians who say it. It's the poor and fucking young who have to pay the price.
Well, don't never forget.
If you see them in the 30s and everything, from the age of about 15 and up, all of the population was out in the street saying Sieg Heil and all of that business.
Never forget, Hitler was elected. Hitler was elected by popular.
I mean, he was very popular right till the very end.
Hitler was elected.
The issue with the rise of Hitler is that in the aftermath of the Treaty of Versailles, there was a lot of infiltration of German society by like Western European.
Can I say something? Let me just say something.
They had a policy where
hang on, Nick, just hang on, just before you go on your right wing triad there. I just wanted to say, I've often found myself, by the way, my ancestry is Ukrainian and I actually distanced myself from them. I always look at people and say, would this person, if I was a Jew in World War II, would this person hide me in their basement? And I got to tell you something, Marky.
Yes.
I would hide you.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I'd hide you here. I would I would do hiding.
I feel like HR would drop a dime on us.
I would hide, and I've met people who wouldn't hide. Like they'd be the first one to say, they'd be pointing the finger. There's some nasty fucks in this world.
It'd be like, Archie, I smell filet mignon coming from the barbecue out back. You'd be like, here's your rice.
But you know what?
I'll be right back.
I've never really understood how those people fell for that ideology so hard that it got to the point where they could completely dehumanize an entire race of people to the point where
hang on a minute. For starters, you do realize that was just what they did, right? The real problem of World War II, seriously, is not about the Jews. Germany had no fucking trading abilities. Okay, the terms of treaties of Versailles after World War I was so fucking vicious.
Yeah,
they couldn't trade or do anything. This was the problem. And in all honesty,
they got hit by the Depression.
That's why global policy has been for free trade around the world. You just have some idiot comes into power who then starts putting ridiculous tariffs up, and then he thinks he's a smart ass, right? The problem is these fools, the reason why you want to engage with China is so they're not building military weapons against you. They're building fucking iPhones and cheap shovels and cheap fucking appliances. That's what you want them to do, is so that they're not fucking focused on taking over you.
Yeah, that's too late now. It's too late.
Didn't you agree, Marky, or not?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to go to war with your business partner? It's not good for
and
business.
Also, if you're making money, hey, it's okay. It's no problems.
Yeah. I went to Germany in the late 80s. I lasted a weekend. I had to get out of there. Couldn't handle it.
Where was that?
That's in China.
Why, Mikey? Why did you feel that way?
Well, you got to remember something. You got to remember I was born 13 years only after the end of the war, right? So I'm old. So I was only born 13 years after the end of the war. And when we were little kids in Hebrew school, I'm talking 5, 6 years old, they're showing us these videos of our people being, like shoveled into these mass graves. Like they showed us the most violent of the anyway. So it was very, very much alive, in people, Jewish people my age and older. And so there I get to Germany, and it was in the mid to late 80s. So what that meant was the older generation, like the kids, the young people, well, they weren't around for that. They had nothing to do with that. But every time I saw somebody on the street who was 75, 80, 80 years old or more, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, how did we miss you? How did we miss you? We bombed the fuck out of this place. And I was in Cologne, which was firebombed. Okay. So every building in Cologne looked like it was built in 1955, 1960 or later, with the exception of their magnificent Gothic cathedral that dates back to the 1200 something or another. And as I'm looking at this beautiful church, which they're showing
so
off,
lucky that it survived.
I kept thinking to myself, how did we miss that? Like, how did we?
I think it was out of respect, honestly.
How did we miss that? Like, that should have been
on purpose.
What made you
that
want to
should have
leave?
been gone too.
What made you want to leave? Did you just feel uncomfortable because
The
of Jewish
sound
stuff?
of the language.
Yeah.
The
It's
sound
evil.
let me tell you what, they're
It's
nice
fucking evil.
people.
There's no doubt
They
about
were educated. They spoke English. They were very nice, very polite, very correct. I personally couldn't handle it. And I knew that was my personal issue. That wasn't them. It was
So this
me.
was in China.
But I couldn't handle it.
Their
Where was this,
language
Mark?
is
Mark,
very-
Germany.
He
Deutschland.
actually went to Germany in the 80s and he stayed there 3 days. And
Germany.
had to
You
get
couldn't
out.
handle Germany?
Could not
Well,
handle Germany.
They
Well,
turned into a vassal state since then. They're really a vassal state.
Yeah, no, I get it. But every 80-year-old person I
tell you
look
as a
at, I
culture-
wondered, what were you doing? You know, how did we
Guys,
miss you?
I've
Why
had a
are
lot
you
of dealings
alive?
with the Germans, and culturally speaking, that they have a certain ethos which is unique to them. They are a cold-hearted bunch of pricks. I've got to tell you,
100%.
they are a cold race. They are. I don't
That's
think
1,000%. And you know what else? I actually feel the same way, Mark, about
any
Germany.
other race of people.
I
really
feel the
don't.
exact same way. So that's why I fully support, like, if they're going to go radical environmentalist and woke cultural policy, I'm like, double down, triple down, quadruple down.
Yeah, keep them peaceful.
Keep them under control, make them, fall apart a bit,
Keep them
Fuck 'em.
peaceful. Anyway, it was like I said, it was more of a personal issue that I had.
See, I've got to tell you, Marky, the thing is, right?
Mm,
The thing is,
yes,
I've got to say this to you,
you go ahead. Then I'll tell you how I fall asleep every night.
Marky.
And I'm not lying, but you go
You know,
first.
it's not so much it's Germans or any race. It shows you humanity can be nasty.
No, that's for sure.
You know, I kind of look at it and think, I used to think, oh, these are bad.
Do you know
these
how
are
many
good.
Ukrainians they killed?
Hold on a second, Archie. You said before this has all got to do with the Versailles Treaty, and they didn't have any
Trade ability.
You can understand they want to take back the Rhineland, they want to get the Ruhr Valley, they want to get back into the money, and they want to do their trade. That I get. How do you jump from that to gassing 6 million people, including women and babies?
Oh, and
Sorry, you've got to have something
about-
fucking wrong with you to be able to jump from that to that and say somehow it's logically plausible. It's not fucking logically plausible. You've got something wrong with them.
They also
Gen-
took out
I
all the
think
gypsies, all the gays, all the mental defectives that they had in their own country, and about 10 million Russians.
Yes,
There's
but
a lot of people.
I think
A lot of the time that they were
majority of the population was as normal as you and me. Hitler had such a charisma about him.
Yeah, let's get back to watch talk. It's gone a bit too far here. When we've got Mike the Snake commenting on Hitler, let's get back to watch talk. We know it's over.
Mike's talking about his
Over.
charisma.
Get back. I got to tell you something. I must tell you this. Most Germans I've met would have to be some of the nicest people. And I must confess.
I can't argue with that.
Enough.
Yeah.
I can't even argue with that.
I've met some Germans. They're just cool.
Yeah,
They're just nice
why I
people.
left.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
why I wouldn't- I
Hey,
wouldn't
what watch
bring up-
were you wearing, Marky?
You know, it was the 80s. I had on it was my two-tone Rolex date. My 34 millimeter little date.
Good. You showed
Strap
me here.
it on
This
the
is where the
rollie.
Jewish gold went. I still got it. That'd fucking piss them off. Assholes they are.
I
By a langer.
just couldn't handle it. Now, I never mind. I'm not going to tell you how I fall asleep every night. It's too much. I'll tell you another night. Let's do this super chat instead.
That's right, Marky. Be kind. Please
I
be
am.
kind. We love you, Marky.
Thank
Remember that. I honestly see a lot of good in you. You know
Super chat. Well, thank you.
We saw those
that? Super
videos.
chat. Black Cat 997, $5.
shot of it.
USSR, East Germany, Empire of Japan, all four.
How can
All
you
evil to the
mistake
core.
a fucking N for
No.
an E, Archie?
Well, what's North Germany? It should be East Germany, he means.
Well, he wrote
What's North Germany,
That's all.
Mike? Come on. You're the
I don't know.
expert.
I'm just
Yeah,
reading.
you tell me what the fuck is North Germany? It's East Germany.
I'm just reading the super chat. I'm not going by history, okay? That's all. Sorry.
I'm correcting the mistake, Mikey. Fuck
Don't
you,
let it
Jed.
happen
When
again.
Mike, the
Okay,
mistake is correcting your... Don't let it happen again.
That's
USSR. Well, the USSR was on the coalition side, on the British and
the
American
Allies.
side.
They were part of the
Yeah.
Allies.
Yeah, during World War II, we gave them
Here we go. Here it's
Lend-Lease
$2.
program.
Please pay vid on WhatsApp in entirety. It's only 2 minutes. Okay, I'm finding it now. Let's go.
Mark, when you get a chance, can you have a look at the private chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In World War II, America gave Russia a lot of airplanes.
Tell Archie when it gets dull, which is like.
Yeah, no, we supplied Russia with a lot of stuff.
The Allied forces, fuckers. We saw those vids when I was in grades or junior high, also, Mark, with the heads in the bucket and the bulldozing the bodies.
Hello, I'm Archie Luxury, and welcome to 2013's What Does Your Wristwatch Say About You? And this is where I stereotype watch brands to watch owners, and I try and get it right. So I'm really interested to hear your feedback. Let me know if I've got it right or if I'm completely wrong. So please, without further ado, today I'd like to talk about Lange. What does Lange say about its owner? And I got to say, normally I like to, characterize a model of watch to an owner. But with Lange, the brand is so all-encompassing. When I refer to one type of Lange owner, I actually refer to all. And Lange's a brand which came back from the dead. It's the corpse that's been revised. And the fuckers, they were a company which was inside East Germany after World War II. The commies, the red bastards, couldn't find a tart in a brothel with a handful of 50s. The business soon died, and that was it. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, freedom, etc., etc., Richmond thinking, hey, we could make some bucks, they revived the corpse. And I got to say, they've done a great job. And Lange is a brand which, it's really interested me. Naturally, I could never actually own a Lange myself because of the mean, nasty fucker Germans. That's right, my grandfather was a POW, captured by the Nazis in World War Mine, sent to the front line to dig fucking trenches, and I'm a little bit bitter about that, you nasty Nazi bastards. But let's have a talk about Lange. And, I have met a few people who own Lange, and one characteristic I have found is that a lot of Lange owners seem to have some sort of sexual problem. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, one of the Lange owners I know is a homosexual. He bats for the wrong team. He does things that the Bible says you should.
Well, Archie's come a long way since 2013.
He loves gay men.
Okay, you've come a long way.
I find it hard watching my old videos, that I really fucking hate it. I put the volume down.
Dude. No, they're brilliant.
That's over 15 years ago. Crown Gold, $2. Mark, would you own a Lange?
Well, let me put it to you like this. I own a German Shepherd, so why not?
And a Porsche?
Never.
I own the same breed as a...
I've got a Porsche, though. I'm a hypocrite. I've got a Porsche.
People think the most famous German Shepherd ever was Rin Tin Tin, but it wasn't. It was Blondie. Y'all know who Blondie was.
He killed Blondie so he could test the pill.
Exactly.
What's that again? Who killed Blondie?
Tell him, Mark.
What's the story? Who's Blondie?
he whose name we shall not mention, dictator of Germany.
Oh, I see. Yes. I get
Before
you.
he
Yeah.
unalived
peculiarly
himself
small moustache.
with the he of the small pencil mustache.
He killed the dog.
He bit. Well, what he did was he bit an arsenic capsule at the same time as he used a pew to pew, and but he gave one of those capsules to Blondie just to make sure it worked, and then he took the next one. Him and
Who's
Eva.
Blondie?
Blondie was the dog.
his German Shepherd.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, that's what he did before he moved to Argentina and then chilled for another.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Bravo, Nico.
Super chat. Black Cat 9975 bucks was trying to sanitize. I meant the regime led by Mr. H. I don't like East Germany either.
There we go.
You know what's fascinating? Speaking about what Nick sort of like hinted at just then. You know those 1960s and 70s. I think they were Frederick Forsyth novels. The ones with where they were the boys from Brazil that turned into those.
Oh, I have a. Okay.
Remember those movies with Gregory Peck, with Mengele and stuff
Laurence
like that?
Olivier.
Searching for the Nazis. I love them.
Okay, Chief Tit. Here's the crazy thing. Do you remember the scene at the end of Boys from Brazil where the baby Hitler sicked his German shepherds on Dr. Mengele and they killed him?
Yeah.
Or I mean, sorry, Doberman pinches was Doberman. 2 Dobermans. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was all filmed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in 1978 or so, maybe 77, 78, 79, right in there. And I went to college in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I was in college at that time. And I was the local dog trainer for Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I had been written up in the Lancaster Intelligencer News. I was like I was the guy people, they had a question, even the newspaper had about dogs, they called me. And that is how the producers of Boys from Brazil found me and asked me to supply dogs for that movie.
You're kidding.
Oh,
Crazy,
Oh
crazy.
Archie, do you know the movie with Gregory Peck? Archie?
yes. Yeah, I do.
You know the movie. You know that's unbelievable. So you
Gregory
trained
Peck
the
played Dr.
He didn't
Mengele.
end up using your dog's butt, Marky, did they?
They did not, and here's what. That's correct. So I did find German.
How many
Shepherds.
dogs could you muster?
Well, they only needed 2, so I found 2 German Shepherds. We interviewed. They took pictures of me. They took pictures of Mary Lou, who was the handler on these dogs. They took a lot of measurements and pictures of the dogs. And then at the last minute, they decided that Doberman Pinschers would look more fierce than German Shepherds, and it's still a Germanic breed. So they just switched breeds, and they had a Doberman. They had a Doberman guy, and I think it was a good decision because it was disappointing at that time. But the movie is kind of a classic cult, classic, and the Dobies look very fierce. Although as a dog trainer, what's that?
What year was this?
77, 78.
Archie, what was that other movie? There was another movie with Michael Caine. Something about some files, the Ipcris files. Do you remember that movie? Another one. It was in that same genre.
If you guys look up the Boys from Brazil, you'll see the one that Chief Tet was talking about with the dogs.
Yeah.
And when I watched that scene,
got that, would it have paid well?
No, a little, but I would have had a credit. My name would have been in the credits, which would have been cool.
Archie would look great in Lederhosen.
later.
Lederhosen.
Super. Yes, he would. He would. You know what? Archie could play Goering. Archie could play Goering with a little hat, with a little feather.
Gang Lux, $2.80. Do you have a favorite dog breed, Mark?
I mean, that is really, really tough to narrow down because
There's so many you like.
So many. There's so many. Collies,
What do you hate, but what do you hate? What dog? You said.
I mean,
you dislike bulldogs because they have such medical problems. You said.
I mean, I really can't go on record hating any breed of dog because I get paid to train them all. So there you have it. I like them.
Yep. You've just said some dogs are more problematic than others.
That is true. Anyway, I don't really hate any breed.
What do you think of the Australian dingo? Could you train that dog?
No, they're feral. They're not domesticated. I don't think they're.
Yeah.
Could you train them still? I think
It's like
anyone
coyotes and wolves. I mean, maybe if you got one as a puppy, like literally weaned it yourself.
Could you do that, Marky?
I've never had the opportunity to wean a baby coyote. So the answer is,
coyotes aren't that bad, but are they?
well, they're like dingoes. A baby ate a dingo ate my baby.
I've got a friend that raised a couple of wolves from like day-old puppies. They bottle fed them. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And these are full 100% wolf or 50% wolf at least. When they grew up, they were fucking nuts. They were out of control, vicious.
Yeah.
What?
More people
when they grew up.
Well,
what?
Wolves are. Listen,
they were so stressed out being in a cage that they were just loose cannons. They're fucking wild animals, man. They're not domesticated.
They're not predictable, and usually they're very shy in captivity, or when people try and domesticate them. Even the hybrids, they can be very shy, which can make them a little unpredictable.
If it could be done,
Hermann Goering had a Universal Geneve chronograph reference 22430. Let me see. What does that look like?
I bet it would have been small, like 34 millimeters, maybe 36.
So did you visit these dogs, Mikey, when they were raising them, the wolves?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I remember when they brought them home, and they were dinky little puppies, and they were bottle feeding.
You're not allowed to do that, are you?
No. This was a completely illegal action that these people did, but they thought it was just neato to have real wolves or something. And when those wolves became full-grown animals, they needed to be kept in a very tight enclosure, and they were stressed out, and they had to be on medications to
Speaking
keep
of
them mellow.
stressed out, I gotta go. I don't mean to stress you out, but it is time for me to go see the Hermann Goering movie. So
enjoy it, Mark.
Have a lovely evening, you all.
Let us know your thoughts on that after you see it.
I'll give you a review tomorrow.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy yourself, Mark.
Coming, Mikey. We love you.
Archie, in the private chat, there's the link to that particular watch.
I want to keep a werewolf.
There you go. It's probably safer. I'm not kidding, man. Like real wolves, fuck.
Yeah.
They're loose cannons.
You'd see that a lot if it could be done. So obviously, it can't be done, right?
Yep.
Technically, dogs are from that, like wolves corresponding with tribes of people thousands of years ago, and then slowly adapting as guards. Because they would be able to be on the periphery and then bark if anybody came along from a rival, like tribe of enemies. Also, did you know that ravens give wolves directions on where to find prey, and they have like a partnership? In certain situations, also wolves and bears have made partnerships, work together.
Well, and there I was thinking it was only Watch Nicholas, and I see. Wow, there you go. This is actually quite a nice looking watch. Universal Geneve has never is it a luxury brand? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't think it was ever intended to be, was it, Arch? But it sort of defaulted to being one in a way. What do you think?
It's
lovely. It's a nice looking watch. I must say that it is a very lovely watch.
Somebody revived that brand recently, didn't they? Somebody is putting out new.
Breitling is who owns it, and they rejuvenated it.
Yeah.
Something new. There was news about it recently.
It's very. What?
You've gone very quiet, Arch. Suddenly the volume's.
It is a lovely piece. It's a lovely piece. You can't argue with that, can you?
No. He looked after himself, didn't he?
This is 1945, it says, so maybe it's after that.
Well, that's apparently the watch that he, not that particular one that you've pulled up, but that's the model that he had. Apparently, the model, his actual watch, went up for auction.
Wow.
I don't know how much it got, but it was one of those, even signed on the back.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
I'm not sure if I could wear it, though. If it was his personal watch, it'd be a bit weird. But the sort of thing that belongs in a museum, you know?
Exactly.
Whose personal watch?
Hermann Goering.
Oh, okay.
This isn't the one. This is just the same reference, but it's Universal Geneva. These are relative bargains. The problem is it's hard. A lot of these movements and that it's hard to get parts for them. That's the big problem.
So what happens in that situation, Arch? What does a watchmaker do? Do they make their own part? Do they sort of what happens there?
It depends how much money you want to put into it. Often these sort of era of watches, they used a lot of the movements. See, the thing is, you know, when people talk about in-house movements now, but that was never the fashion before. In fact, there were movement makers, there were dial makers, and each watch company kind of put together their own take on it. And the higher makers like Patek, AP, and VC, they would do their own finishing. So they would have a little bit of contribution to it. But most of the complicated Pateks were Lemania-based movements.
Really? I didn't know.
There were companies, so there were companies that did that sort of stuff, and it was kind of each watch brand sort of pieced together their own thing. Now, Rolex used the Valjoux 727 movement in their Daytonas, the 4-digit Daytonas. So it wasn't even Patek. Patek, who sort of considered the top of the tree, they all of them sort of did that. And Cartier used a lot of, you know, a lot of these makers like Jaeger LeCoultre was a movement maker.
Yeah.
So Archie, if that's the history of it, why is it then that fast forward in time, they then become snobs in relation to in-house movements, but still relate to their own history, and their history actually shows that they didn't make their own movements? Why is that now?
Well, that's kind of just how it's changed. It's kind of,
you know, who owns or who purchased Lemania and then appropriated.
What happened? The big problem was they had a situation where one of the big makers had access, you know, to the ETA. They wouldn't supply. Valjoux and ETA were to join. They wouldn't supply movements to non-members. So then, you know, like that was part of Swatch Group. They wouldn't supply those movements to other non. So it kind of forced the hand a bit. But
interesting. Yep.
Old watches, you're kind of fucked if you can't get parts for them. Even old Rolex is getting very difficult. Rolex never says they can service everything. You look at 1950s. Well, look at 1940s sort of old bubble back, those sort of watches there. It's difficult to get parts for them. Okay, it is difficult.
So do you think on that basis that
if you've got money, look, the problem is you look at what is the Western world, what does it cost for labor rate for a professional, you know? So you're looking at somebody's going to be charging $200 an hour to make parts, and it's not fucking easy.
They have to reproduce the parts, right? Like according to whatever schematics.
Well,
today
it's going to cost a lot of money.
We have 3D printers today. If you can draw it up, the 3D printer can make a gear or any part for a watch.
It's not quite that easy. It's not quite that easy.
I know it's not that exactly that easy. But
I'm not sure, Mike, if they can do that level of precision for sort of like tiny watch parts from a 3D printer.
No, the thing is, guys,
that's where they excel.
Watchmakers all make their own parts if they're in a high end. They'll make them literally out of like raw materials.
Absolutely,
So,
and making a
that's-
new gear.
It's
Making
a difference
Can
you
I
having a
ask this
service.
question? You too, Nick. Let me ask this question of all of you. Are you saying then that if you do have a particular penchant for older vintage pieces, that you're better off buying one that's got, say, an ETA or some other type of movement, maybe that was used in multiple different models of multiple different brands, because you're more likely to have that serviceable in terms of parts?
I think that's probably a fairly valid fact.
That's
Look,
100%.
this is the
Yeah, if you have vintage
problem.
with meta, you're good.
No, but let's back the truck up there. This is the problem with vintage, is that it is difficult to get certain parts once they get to a certain age. Like those old Monacos are very difficult to get fixed, because the part that they were a watch from the 70s, not even 50s. We're talking 70s, 60s, 70s. Very hard to get bits and parts. The parts are worth a lot of money. You got to remember something. Watchmaking is let me say this to you, Chief Tip. Watchmaking is a fucked area to be in, because say you study to be a watchmaker, right?
Yeah.
The big problem is, okay, you have people like lunatics like Nick who say, oh, you can make the parts. Well, okay. Any part you make is going to be 5 times more expensive than any you would buy that's mass produced.
I only meant that in the sense of someone servicing the watch. It's not a watchmaker. Watchmakers will make the parts. That's different. It goes into the cost. But if you're having a service, it's so expensive to have that. It's not a watchmaker.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you look at these. Okay, say you learn your trade, you become a watchmaker. That's like becoming a mechanic, right, Chief Tip?
Yeah.
And can you imagine a situation where the only thing you could do as an independent mechanic is oil and filter changes and spark plugs, because the manufacturers refuse to sell you the rubber hoses, the plastic bits that break? So in watchmaking, if consumer law looked into it, if the auto industry behaved like the car industry, right? If the watch industry behaved like if the car industry behaved like the watch industry, they would be fucking, the ACCC, Consumer Affairs would be out to fucking get them.
Absolutely.
But because it's a luxury product and they're expensive, they say, oh, well, we're not really here to help you. You look at it, Rolex, AP, Patek, Jaeger-LeCoultre, even Pam, Omega, they will not sell parts to independent people. This is the whole thing. They're limited to what parts they will sell, because they want to keep the servicing in-house, because it's a money tree.
You know what else happened to me?
Henry Ford once said, I could give you my car for free if you agreed to come back and service it through me forever. Does that make sense?
Can I tell you what situation arose with me for once? I've got a 1975 Tudor Submariner. You know the watch I've got, the old one. I love that watch. And I took it to Rolex to get it serviced. This is about 10 years ago. And they said to me, we're going to keep your bracelet, and we're going to change the dial, and we're going to keep the hands and give you replacement hands.
I hope you said no.
And I said no, and they were insisting. And I said, what are you talking about? It's mine. You can't insist. And they said, no, it's our policy that if you want it serviced, these are our terms and conditions. I said, I'm going to sue you. I said, the hands that are on it are my hands. They're not your hands. Because the hands that I had were actually a very rare one. They're not the snowflake. Every Submariner's got snowflakes. But for about a year, in 75 to 76, they had the Mercedes hands.
I see. Very, very good point. So did they give it back to you in the end?
They charged me an extra $200 to give me back my hands and my bracelet. And my bracelet was a Rolex bracelet, and it was the Mercedes hand. So I've got those now in a separate packet. On the actual watch itself, it's got the original from 1975, the original type of bracelet with the clasp and that, but with the Tudor shield on it, and the Tudor hands with the snowflake. But in a separate bag, I've got a Rolex clasp, a Rolex bracelet. And
you would have
Rolex
been better off. You would have been better off just to go to an independent, really, for that. But
I didn't
anyhow,
know. I didn't know.
but that bracelet is probably worth a lot of money. But you know that those parts are very valuable, and you probably how much that God only knows what they would have charged you. They wouldn't have been cheap.
It was $1,200 back then.
Yeah.
So they did all the changes they wanted.
Plus an extra 200, Nick, to get my own stuff back.
So they did everything they told you that they were going to do. They did it. Like they changed it to snowflake hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah,
but I've got my original hands in a special separate bag now. Right?
You got to get a professional watchmaker to fix it.
I'll leave it the way it is. And if, because it looks nice now, I still like it because the loom works, everything works, and it looks beautiful. Right, but I've got the original parts so that somebody can't say, "Oh, you got service hands and therefore you fucked it." It's like, no, hold on, I've actually got the originals as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting stuff.
But if I didn't threaten them, they would have taken them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They would have just kept them.
Can you believe it? You had to threaten somebody with taking them to court over your own item.
Yeah, no. I most people wouldn't even have the tenacity to even realize that, and that's the reason. See, I think you're better off to find a good independent for that servicing. That you're better off to find a good independent watchmaker, because the movement is just an ETA. It's nothing is that difficult. They're just being assholes there, right?
Yeah.
I know. Chief Tit, I know people sent in Rolex to be serviced. A friend of mine had a Berthier 1967 Submariner.
Yeah.
They replaced the case, the dial, the hands, everything, and they charged him to replace it. It cost fucking thousands, and it killed the value of the watch. Do you understand? It was still worth something, but it would be worth a lot more if he hadn't have fucking sent it. And you don't know that. You think, oh, I'm going to send it to Rolex for repair.
You think you're doing the right thing
to do. And in fact, it's not the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
What are they doing with those parts?
Who is good in Sydney, Arch?
Are they keeping those parts and are they selling them, or what are they doing with them?
I don't know.
Look, there's a couple of good watchmakers there. There's many. Look, Vintage Watch Co. He's got his own service division there. He actually gets, I think he's got a contract for Omega or someone like that. He's got really good parts. Vintage Watch Co. He's not cheap, but he's a lot cheaper and he's a lot more compassionate towards keeping things original in that. Vintage Watch Co.
Yeah, in the Strand Arcade.
I would think Rolex keeping all those old parts would just keep them in a stash, and when they had compiled a stash of enough parts to build a watch that was all appropriate, like vintage wise and patina wise, they would build themselves an old vintage original.
I don't think so.
A quote.
And they often destroyed a lot of stuff. Mike, I think that's a bit ridiculous to say that, Mike.
What do you think they do with it, Arch?
It was just a thought I had.
Hold on, Archie, what do you think they do with the parts that they take from you?
Well, often these parts are worn out. That's why they're replacing them. They're not trying to pinch parts from you, okay? But I think what you've got to realize is with these parts themselves they are the reason they don't like to give them back out is because they don't want these to go into Franken watches. They were very scared of that, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is Rolex years ago, they used to give tools like spanners, like special case opening tools to watchmakers to encourage them to be able to work on their stuff. And then later on, they wanted that stuff back. You know what I mean? And those tools are actually worth a lot of money. The funny thing is with it is that Patek says they will always service any watch they've made, but if you need parts, believe you me, they will fucking charge you. They never said they do it cheap. But Omega actually can do most things, but I think some of the older quartz stuff is problematic. The older Remember those Amigas that had those tuning fork Amigas? They used to hum. Zzz. Remember that? Do you remember those?
I remember that. Yeah.
They were kind of the Amigas of the time. You know what I mean? They were
you know
cool.
Who else has got a problem, Archie? The old aerospace Breitlings. I collect some of those. And so I've got one from the late 80s, which was an original. That's when they still called it a Navitimer, even though it's an aerospace. Then they went to the early 90s ones. Then they went to the late 90s ones with a minute repeater. They're all quartz. And then in the early 2000s, they came up with the super quartz. Now, if you go to get anything that's less than a super quartz serviced at Breitling now, they say to you, no, yeah, we've got to change the case back and this and that, and we're going to change out the mechanism and make it the super quartz one. And then they ruin the originality and the thinness of the original aerospace, which was extremely thin. And then they make it this big chunky thing. And you don't want the chunky thing sometimes, you know? So I went
Mind you, let me tell you this. That Cartier clock I sold you, right?
Yeah. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful clock. That, you know how fucking dear anything Cartier clocks, they're ridiculous money now. But that had a proprietary battery in it, which you had to go to Cartier, and it had a fucking plastic thing on it. And when I serviced that, it was about, I put the receipt in there with it. So I found the receipt.
It wasn't cheap, yeah.
They changed the movement to using just a normal battery.
Yeah,
okay, so that was Cartier did that, which I must say, yeah, that's a good thing to do, because then it's just a standard fucking battery. You know what I mean? That's done by Cartier. That's the paperwork. I just want the clock to fucking work. You know, that was the thing with it. But I got to tell you, Chief Tit, that is a the quartz stuff. See, quartz has less moving parts, and the big problem is the circuits. If they don't get water in them, they normally will last a long time. But don't forget, they still have a life. They're not eternal. It's not eternal. It's not forever, especially in humidity and that, because those circuit boards, you know, they just get some corrosion in. If the battery leaks, it'll very easily damage those circuit boards. Yeah. God only knows. You remember the Aston Martin Lagonda? You were talking about fancy cars. Yeah. They've got all that electronic. How the fuck would you get that fixed today? How would you get an Aston Martin Lagonda? How would you get that?
Because you can't take it to Aston Martin. They wouldn't even know what the fuck to do with it. Remember I told you I had a 928 S4? Well, I took that 928. I bought a new Cayenne from Porsche here, right? And I took the 928 there, and I thought, okay, well, I've got the new Porsche now. I'll take the old Porsche to get it serviced. They had no friggin' idea about anything.
Oh, no, you'd have to take it to an Indy. You'd have to go to a Porsche Indy. Yeah. Did they say that to you, or what did they say?
Well, I realized in the end, because they were coming back, and I realized that I knew more about the car than they did, and they were asking me to charging me $250 an hour to reveal the fact that they knew nothing. You know, so I thought,
you remember the 928, the S4? What's the S4 stand for? What's the S4? That was
Series 4.
You had the last of the 928s. What year was yours?
1989.
Because they came out in 78 or 77, wasn't it? The first. You remember that? I love that bluey silver color they had, and they had the pop-up. By your stage, it didn't have the pop-up headlights, did it?
It still had pop-up headlights, but instead of coming like that, the headlights came like this.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, and they were amazing car. How did you bought that new or second hand?
Second hand, Arch. Second hand. I was in year 12 when it came out. I was
1989 car. Yeah, that was my last year at high school as well. Yeah, 89. Yeah.
So I loved it then, and then I bought it in around about 2000, I think it was.
Did you pay much for it?
At that stage, I paid around about 20 grand for it, and I got 25 back for it about 7 or 8 years later.
The upkeep was always killer on those. The upkeep is a killer.
Oh, it's a killer. But Arch, do you know how much those frigging things are worth now? An S4 is probably worth about 60 or 70 grand these days. I should have kept the fucking thing.
The problem is the upkeep on them was the big thing. I had a friend of mine. I worked with a guy. He had an E-Type. Believe it or not, he had an E-Type, Series 1 3.8. He bought cheap in the 70s, and then he sold it. I never knew him when he had the E-Type, but he was he was a coach builder by trade. Actually, he was an IT guy, but he was also a coach builder. And his son-in-law had a 928, and he remembers fixing the front, under the front, this little pan thing. He fixed that, and Porsche actually said, geez, that was done really well. Whoever did this fixed it really well. They are a nightmare to fix. Those 928s, when they get a bit old, they are an absolute technological night. Because they were supposed to replace the 911. That was the idea. You know that, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they were a Grand Tourer. Because the problem is, the 911s, when they had the engine in the arse,
Sounds good.
the dynamics is completely wrong. You either want mid-engine, that's what you want, mid-engine or front engine. You don't really want all the weight in the arse, right? So they've had to use, if you look at the new 911s, they've moved, it's not so much in the arse, it's more mid now, how they set it up. You know what I'm saying?
How is it compared to the Cayman then? Because that's a mid-engine. Is it more like quite a lot?
Well, the Cayman is a great car. The Cayman is because that's the Boxster. The Cayman is a great car. The problem is with mid-engine cars, they're also a problem too, is that they're a bastard. Often you have to have engine out to do certain things. That's the problem with...
Oh, right. You have to lift you have to like get around it. Sometimes.
Nick, let me tell you something. A client of mine is one of the engineers at the Porsche dealership, right? And he said to me that Porsche, it's a well-known thing internally in Porsche, that if they wanted to, they could make the Cayman absolutely flog the 911, but they deliberately don't do it so that they can maintain the hierarchy of the 911 being the best one.
Yeah,
then the
exactly.
Cayman, blah, blah.
That's very true. They can't have any sibling car outgun their main
flagship.
Their flagship model, which is the 911.
We just got a super chat here, MT85, $10, and we've also got Mike the Snake, $2. Fully engaged Archie makes for a great show. Thank you, Mike the Mistake. The interesting thing is, do you know what else they did too, Chief Tit?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, if you're into your E-Type Jaguars, you know at one stage they put a V8 into an E-Type Jaguar?
No, I didn't know that.
Because Jaguar owned Daimler and they had that 2.5 litre V8. You know the Mark II, they also had a Daimler version of the Mark II Jaguar where they had the 2.5 litre V8 engine in it. Did you know that?
I had no idea. A 2.5 or 3.5?
Sorry?
3.5 or 2.5 was the V8?
No, 2.5.
Wow.
In an E-Type?
They actually put that Daimler engine into an E-Type. This was prototype. This is never released to the public.
Okay.
They felt that it would damage sales of the 6-cylinder by having a V8, so they canned that idea very quickly. You remember the Daimler? They had the Daimler Dart. You know that had a big mouthy front. You know the Daimler. You remember that used the 2. Yeah, that Daimler was they were very much, because Jaguar, like Rolls-Royce took over Bentley, right? You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know that.
Well, Jaguar took over Daimler, okay? That's what I'll show you a photo of a Dart. You want to see a Dart?
Yeah.
This is
good looking.
What do you think?
Sort of looks like a bit like a souped up MG in a way. Looks like a fish.
Yeah, it was never kind of cool like a Lotus or something like that, is it?
The front grille looks like a Studebaker. Looks like a Studebaker, not a Lark, but it's a dead ringer for a Studebaker grill. As an observation, but it also looks like a Triumph Spitfire, the kind of the front end. And
Spitfire, I think, was more nicer than this.
Well, this just has so many aspects of so many cars built into it. I mean, the back half is TR4, TR6A, the way the tails comes to a point at the tip, and the side.
So look at Spitfire. See, Spitfire was a much nicer looking car. I like the Spitfire, 70s car.
I think that Daimler thing looked a bit ugly, Arch. What did you think?
Of course it's ugly. That's why I mentioned it. But you know what I really loved in the 70s? The TR7. I fucking wanted one of these. Do you remember those TR7s or not?
Absolutely.
And they had the houndstooth interior. You know, the houndstooth.
Yes. The houndstooth interior. There was this, and there's the X19 Fiat.
I mean, if you couldn't afford a Mercedes SL, you bought either the Triumph TR7 or the Fiat X19.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
They made a TR8 that used the aluminum Buick 215 V8 that they was.
By that stage, it was over, Mikey. This is I think.
Yeah, they made very few of them. By that stage, but they were real.
Was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. They were fucked. You know who had one? You know, Fleischmann. He had one of these.
I had an X19, Arch.
How did you afford that? How old were you when you had a Fiat X19?
I had that in Greece as a holiday car in the 90s. It was an absolute piece of shit. It was like that light blue one next to the green. Very light blue, like that. But it was earlier than that. That's a little bit of a later one. I had a Series 1, and it was beautiful. It was in Greece, and therefore it didn't have the big American bumpers. But if I tell you it was a complete piece of shit, it was so bad. The lights didn't correspond. So you turn on the lights, and they'd go like this. And so to get the right spot, you'd have to time it because one was slower than the other. And then you go, and you let go of the button. It was so fucking embarrassing, but it was great. It was great. It was so cool.
There's always that joke about Lucas Electronics. They call it the Prince of Darkness or something.
Yeah, well, this would have been Italian. This Italian doesn't use.
Well,
Lucas.
my Italian Pantera, half of the original electrical on it was made by Lucas.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They did make their way around for sure.
Arch, what did you have as an early car?
Sorry?
What was your early cars that you got after school that you sort of were lusting over and eventually got? Did you get anything?
I got an E30, but I could only afford a 318. I couldn't afford. They were expensive. I borrowed a lot of money to get that. I had a
That's a nice car.
They're a classic now. But, you know, I got to be honest with you. I kind of, later on, I had an Alfa Romeo, but that was so bad. That kind of scared me from buying more secondhand European cars.
But you loved it. You loved it. There was a part of you that loved that Alfa. I know it.
Yeah, but part of me wouldn't buy one. You know, they just fucking, I don't know what it is. They are so beautiful, but would you ever buy an Alfa again? You've owned Maserati Alfa.
Yeah. I've still got a black Alfa in Greece, a 2002 model. I'm keeping that for the boys when they get to 16 or 17.
What about you had a Maserati? Would you ever buy one again?
Never.
Every person who buys one, they lose a lot. They are fucking vicious. You know what I mean? And you know something that's really terrible, Chief Tit? The Vietnamese shop I go to, the lady had a Levante, and it was stolen. No worries, Mikey. Love you. Thanks for coming on. It was stolen. And they gave her a payout of like 60 grand for it, Chief Tit.
60 grand is all that she got.
After about 3.5 years, and she paid 100 and something. You know, it wasn't a cheap one, and that was the agreed market price of the car. You know what I mean? Like, they fucking lose so much money. I mean, all cars, BMW, Mercedes, you buy one of those, they lose money. But Maserati accelerates. And see, that where the scary thing is, someone can be a BMW person, then they say, oh, I might get a Maserati. Then they want to get out of the Maserati. They don't realize the depreciation is so bad on them. You know what I mean?
I know. Arch, there's one thing. I said to you that I'd never get one, but deep down, there must be a part of me that still wants to get one again. You know why?
Why?
Because I've still got the luggage kit that I bought for $12,000.
Oh, $12,000.
Actual friggin' suitcases, even the women's beauty.
I got a friend of mine who's actually, he bought a Stradale. You know what a Stradale is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a homologation rally car.
So, would that fit into like a later one, or it's only would fit into a 3200 Chief Tier?
No, it'd fit in the later ones. It'd fit in the later ones, because I'd love to get the one that's also that I would actually buy is the Gran Turismo, not the Gran Turismo, the Gran Cabrio. That convertible for me was just.
Mind you, you know what it cost if that top breaks?
Fuck, I know.
Archie,
but it is beautiful.
You mentioned the Studebaker Avanti.
Yes.
Earlier.
I mentioned the Triumph.
You know that it was an option when ordering it. It came with a V8 if you wanted. Otherwise, it came with a standard smaller engine. I'm not exactly sure about maybe a straight six, but it was a 289 cubic inch small, and everybody just assumed it was a Ford 289 small block Ford. And I just learned the other day that Studebaker made their own 289 engine that went along with that car. I mean, it was like they made.
I don't know much about Studebakers. I must be honest with you there. Cliver's was a studio. What was it? He wanted a silver arrow. Was it silver arrow or gold arrow? Some sort of arrow. Studebaker. I can't remember what it was there. But yeah, Studebakers. I never really. No, I don't know much about them, Mike. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. No worries. I was just making a point. They were really kind of a peculiar American car.
What's that cheap kit?
Look, Arch.
This is the luggage here.
Brand friggin' new still.
That was $12,000.
Look.
Wow. Maserati. Fuck.
The full kit. The full friggin' kit. There's like 5 other parts. They're like there's like the suit bit. There's it looks good though, guys. Look.
Did you ever take the car away and use the luggage like for a weekend away or something?
I did a couple of times. We went to the Blue Mountains for a couple of weekends away, and some of those Maserati club weekends away. It's a little bit like the thought of it is better than the actual practicality of it. You can never.
Can I tell you a car story? Can I tell you a car story? I had that Pagoda SL, and I said to my wife, "Let's go to the mountain. Let's have a picnic." And she said, "Can we take the Honda?" I didn't want to argue. I said,
It killed you, didn't it, when you heard that?
You know, like the dream to go there in a classic convertible. That was the dream. But when you actually get there,
you wanted her to put on a pair of sunglasses and a scarf like Grace Kelly.
Exactly.
And instead, she wanted the fucking Honda Civic, and you were thinking.
Actually, we had an Accord. It was actually a really good car, but it's not the point. Okay, it's not the point I'm trying to say there. But
and there was no one you could say it to either. You couldn't voice your disappointment anywhere. No one understood.
No, you can't. You
Oh, I know.
cannot.
It was romanticism was defeated by the comfort of modern Accord level.
She didn't even. No, the disappointing part was that she didn't even realize. You see, Arch was thinking of himself
Oh,
like
right. Yeah, of course,
to
of
catch
course.
a thief. He was thinking of himself as a Cary Grant to catch a thief. He's going to go into the mountains there above Monaco with his own Grace Kelly. She was going to put on a pair of Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses and a beautiful scarf, roof down, and he's thinking, fuck. And instead, she wanted the fucking Honda Accord.
You should
You're a
have
bit of a
sat her down and
fashionista.
showed
You're
her
a bit of a
that.
fashionista, Chief Tit, aren't you?
I have my romanticisms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of reality is better. It's kind of, I think that's partly the reason, Chief Tit, that I collected that LV luggage. It's the romanticism of travel.
Exactly.
But in reality, you don't end up using it because it gets damaged or stolen or this and that. But it's the romanticism of travel, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. And you know what, Arch? Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. You just do it yourself, and who gives a fuck? You're on your own little world. I do it. I'm in my own little world. And it doesn't matter what the peasants think. They don't understand what they don't understand.
No, that's exactly it there. I got to ask you something. Best all-purpose watch. And I was thinking simple or complicated. Like sometimes there's something to be said for just a three-hander. That's what I love about the PAM. It doesn't even have a rotating bezel. It's just simple two-hand watch. Sometimes simple is the best. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a date. You don't have chronograph. It's just a simple piece.
Absolutely.
What more could you want?
I love the PAMs. I'm actually, the thing I was thinking about getting was the Bluesy, but then I've got this other PAM in my head, this fucking submersible that mate of yours, Co's got at Luxuria.
Because the PAM itself there is such a cool, versatile. The problem with the Bluesy is there's a lot of them around, a bit of a douchebag watch. Some of the people who have them, you think,
Is it? That's the thing. I'm scared of that. Is it a bit of a wanker?
It is a bit of a wankers. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's whatever you make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The PAMs are amazing bang per buck. Like, they were so popular going back to the early 2000s. They were very popular.
I mean, I'd never buy one brand new. You'd be a fucking idiot. You'd be mad, But
in a way,
already done their ass. Somebody else has done their ass. Why wouldn't you go and pick it up for like half the price?
In the 1990s, everybody was wearing Submariners as a trend from Europe, like from Italy and France. They had the Submariner as like a fashion statement that then it really took off as like an elitist thing. Whereas now you have the Submariner with the larger applied hour markers. The circles are a lot wider. And in that sense, the two-tone black one actually has the ring around the applied, like of the markers, is yellow gold. So there's a contrast. It's not like it's like a one white blotch, like all the way to the edge of the marker. The yellow gold differentiates it. So it makes it slightly more dressy, and the other one's a little bit more like, chic. So that really makes, since the markers are so large in the modern Submariner, the two-tone one gives it a little bit of a nod to classicism.
Yes. I see you, Jermaine.
I tell you something, Fiat, I used to like the Fiat Regatta. Remember the Fiat Regatta in the 90s, 80s? You remember those?
Yeah.
Like that was kind of the Fiat. They've all disappeared. You don't see many of those on the road.
No.
It's funny, Chief Tit. You look at road today, you don't see a lot of cars that you would think like 90s Mercedes or BMWs. You don't see that many of. You don't see many Saabs. I used to love Saab as a brand. Remember Saab?
Absolutely love Saabs. Used to have a
We got a
Saab
super chat. CB $5. I why I don't give a shit about cars? Give me an explanation. CB doesn't like cars. He's a watch enthusiast. But we're just rounding out the show at the end there, CB. Just rounding it out. But, you know, it's such a disaster. Saab went broke. You remember Saab?
Yep. Great brand. Swedish, right?
That was kind of the
they made
thinking
aircraft.
man.
Saab?
Yeah.
Saab went
Saab.
broke?
Yeah, Saab went broke.
General Motors,
Yeah,
they
were
took
a
General
massive.
Motors took them over and killed them.
Yeah, they were an aircraft manufacturer for fighter jets as well.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
I misheard what you said. I thought you said sod, like our friend Sod.
No,
I was like, holy shit, man, you freaked me out.
No, Mike, the car brand, Saab.
I'm very familiar with Saab. I've worked on them. They're front-wheel drive. They're different. You know, their keys is down in the center.
Did you know a lot of the Saabs used to use a Triumph Dolomite engine?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Saabs originally were air-cooled. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. Well,
what the hell? That's crazy.
They still make jets. The Saab Vigan.
They still make trucks.
That's right, Scania. Scania. That's
right.
Very, very. You see a lot of them on. Guys, we've got another super chat here. We've got a super chat CB $5, and I don't care what people think. The 4-port V8 is the best car I've ever owned in the last 30 years. 4-port, quattro-port V8.
Does he mean the Maserati quattro-port?
Yes, yes, he does. That is an amazing car.
Actually, that means 4-door. Quattro-port is just 4-door V8. That's what that means.
Saab is still exists.
What do you guys like the Tudor Ranger 39 as a simple 3-hander?
I
love that.
It's a great
It's kind of Tudor's answer to the Explorer 1. It's a great watch. I love it.
And even more tool-like. The only thing is, even though it's 39, the bezel, even though it doesn't have like an ornate bezel or any sort of functional bezel, it has got a very big dial compared to the Explorer 1. Sorry, the Explorer.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's a great watch. I love it. Archie, I've got to go. I've got lunch on. But it was lovely to see you all.
Hey, no worries there. Thank you so much for coming on. We had some great talk.
Very enjoyable. See you later.
Take care, buddy.
See you, Arch.
See you, Mr. Tit.
See you, guys.
Oh, interesting. A bit of talk there. Guys, we better wrap this show up there. We had a great chat today. I want to thank all the super chatters. We had Hurritan, 4 Rocks, Rich Mitch, 4 Rocks, Black Cat 997, P Clan, John C, Hurritan, Yang, Zhao Yang, Black Cat 997, Rich Mitch, Black Cat 997, Hurritan, Crown Gold, Black Cat 997, Van Lux, MT85, Mike the Mistake, CB, Crown Gold, and Bateman's just saying he might be a little bit late, but that's okay. Guys, that's the show for today. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day.
See you, dudes.
Thanks for coming on and chatting watches with us. See you later.
Hi, guys. It's Archie Luxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer, hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.